Okay, right. So you there, David? Yeah, good.
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris.
You're good. How are you? All right?
I'm good. Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. Must be busy for you guys at the moment.
We've had a good year. Yeah, it's been challenging and but been actually pretty good. Yeah, very busy.
Definitely. I think so what I've heard a lot of in various talks so far this weekend has been just how people are viewing their homes differently. Obviously, a lot of that's been focused on inside the home, but thanks to a good summer and lockdown and everything, I know everybody's been looking at their outdoor space even more than ever. So yeah, I guess that's been interesting for you guys.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the whole lockdown thing with the weather being so good early on, yeah, everyone was looking to do projects outside. So we've really seen a lot of uptake from that. The interest in the projects that have been coming through has been quite diverse, and as much as people have been doing a lot more entertainment spaces outside, actually looking to do their own cooking and outdoor kitchens, and not just patios and extensions to existing patios, but really going to town on those areas and making them proper entertainment spaces. It's been good.
Sure. Yeah, good. Okay, cool. All right. Well, yes, minute two past, so we'll make a start. So obviously, yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you giving up the time to give us these remarkable words of wisdom that are coming our way. So do you want to start by introducing yourself and your background and what's going on there with Reed's Landscaping?
Yeah, sure. Well, my name's David Reed. Thanks for the introduction, Chris. That's great. I set up my own business about nearly 20 years ago now, very close to that. So that's gone quickly. We're well established now. We have a proper yard and offices site over in Twyford, but we've always been Reading based, but we work anywhere within the home counties, to be honest. So we do travel quite far. We work, I've even gone as far as Birmingham thing to do big installs before. But we do all sorts of things, really, from driveways, patios, to decking, to outdoor kitchens, to wooden structures, outdoor buildings, home offices, all sorts of things. It's always been quite a diverse company. So we do work very closely with designers as well, so we can bring a lot of those sort of conceptual designs to reality. Also got a background in general building, so we do a few extensions and things as well like that throughout the year. But it's a good way of marrying quite technical builds up, because we have quite a good knowledge of all of that sort of stuff as well. So we do a lot of steel work as well for a lot of our raised structures that we have to do. So that's quite good. Raised platforms and block and beam floors for terracing and things like that. That works well. So we've got a good basis of proper building techniques to achieve proper designs for outside living.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. What sort of before we get, I know you've prepared some good content for us to run through, which we'll do in a sec. But what sort of things has maybe like changed this year then as a result of lockdown scenarios and things? Are you doing anything different, anything more, or like in terms of people's requests?
Well, like I said, I think it's really just going on more for people are trying to bring the out or the indoors outside now, really. So they're looking to make much more of their own entertainment spaces they've got, especially if you live in a small house and you're limited with of what you can do inside. They're making a whole nother room outside, really. Yeah. So we've been working very closely with Gordon Stone the last 18 months. We were doing that anyway before lockdown was starting, but we do all of their installs for them.
But these are the outdoor kitchen guys, right?
Yeah, this is outdoor kitchens, but it all marries in really well with things like fire pits and all that sort of stuff, and outdoor lighting areas and spaces and wooden structures and glass roofs to go over all of these areas. That it all goes together as one thing, really.
Okay. With outdoor kitchens, can you get toasters in them? Because that's about the only thing I'm any good at on the kitchen front. So yeah. Other than that, I'm going to struggle.
I mean, to be honest, you can put anything you want in them. The sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But essentially, when we do the outdoor kitchens, they are a bespoke framework that gets made to fit any size you want. So it can be an L shape, can have islands in it, it can have anything like you would have in a normal kitchen, but it's just built with materials that will take the weather.
Right. Yeah. So we'll get kind of. I'm just going to share the screen. We can go through some of the visuals you've got in place. So just so you all know as well, for everyone that's dialing in, so if you're on a kind of laptop device, whatever, if you go to exhibitors, you can go to the directory and you can find Reed's profile then, so you can chat to David and the team there, or Gordon Stone as well in the outdoor kitchens. But obviously David's taking the lead today to talk us through everything, so thanks for that. There's also live chat available, so if you go into the Reed's profile, you can click to live chat and actually speak to David and the team via that whilst you're online this weekend. So kind of over to David, really.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's just a couple of pictures here just to try to make things. These are again townhouses here, but there's one here on the left which was just it's just a softwood deck, to be honest, to create a little raised area, and then the one on the right is another. It's a multiple terraced area. This one where they had several entertainment areas, but he wanted to have bespoke made pergola to go over the top of that. I think the lights were being added to that afterwards, but they put composite decking down on this area. Trex is this particular one, Island Mist, and that really makes it a very low maintenance, hard area really that can always be used to entertain on. That's all you'd have to do with that is literally mop it and sweep it, and that will last for probably 20 years, to be honest, the way it gets built. Trex is a very high-end premium product. The frame and everything underneath is exactly the same, so it's a completely different way to building things to what you would with a softwood frame.
Is that quite new there? Because when you say kind of decking things, like I pictured what's on the left there, like from my experience, and then like obviously what's on the right looks really quite striking design-wise. Sounds like it lasts a long time as well.
Yeah. I mean, the one on the left, obviously, you've got a lot of maintenance issues, so you're going to have to maintain that to keep it looking as best it can be year on year.
Yeah.
But the things with Trex, they've been around they're an American company, but they've been in the UK for about 8 years now.
Okay.
And it's becoming more and more popular. It is more expensive, but it is the longevity of it and the fact that you never really do anything to it. It pays for itself over the course very quickly, to be honest.
So, yeah, great. Okay.
But they're really good products.
Yeah. So I guess you've got the other, the other extreme, like we were just talking about before. So the outdoor kitchen side.
Yeah, I mean, again, these are entertainment areas that people are bringing into their gardens now, because people are doing. You see all these programs now you watch to make the cooking you can do on barbecues is really quite good now. I mean, I've heard about people doing Christmas dinners on them and all sorts of things, really. So they're really going to town with it. But the actual kitchens themselves, we can make them any size and shape you want, but they're actually cold rolled steel frames, and then they get lined with a concrete board. There's granite worktops that go on top, all get cut properly. There's sinks in them. We can have waste. You can have multiple power points, lights, speakers in them, even if you wanted to. The fridges themselves are all IP68 rated, so they'll stay outside all the time. Those are wine and beer coolers there.
Yeah. Right.
The actual hardware, I mean, you get hot plates and barbecues. They're all stainless steel. You can get covers for these as well, so you can actually have those made to be covered, or you can put structures over them. So you can put glass roof structures, pergolas, things like that over them.
Yeah.
You better use those rain or shine then. The doors and all the other hardware, those again are all stainless steel, so it's all good for outside all the time.
Yeah.
The one on the left here is just a small area that's got porcelain on the front of it. So there's a porcelain tiles, the same as you'd see in a kitchen, which is really good because then you can match that if you wanted to. If you had that, say, close to your indoor space, if you had some bifold doors or something you're walking out of, you can link the two areas quite well because you can make things match and tie in.
Yeah.
And then there's slate on the side of it, and that wrapped around the back as well. So that's a smart finish. And obviously granite worktop. And then this one on the right is a bigger L version, but this was all James Hardy board. So again, there's lots of different colors you can choose with that, but really you can clad them with anything you want and to any design you want, really.
What sort of budget are you looking at if you're looking at maybe including that kind of entertainment space, would you say roughly?
Sorry, what was that, Chris?
Well, in terms of that budget, people will be thinking about for either of those scenarios. What sort of ballparks are we talking about?
Well, obviously, I work closely with Gordon Stone. We've been having a partnership now for sort of 18 months, if not more than that, nearly 2 years to be fair. But we do all their installs. But to be honest, we've done all different. They do a few ranges. So there's some kit versions you can get, which starts around 4.5K.
Okay.
And then really, depending on size and shape and things like that, you are going up to, I mean, the one on the right here, you are sort of going up to the sort of 13, 14, 15K mark, really.
Yeah, okay.
But you've got to bear in mind that it's all bespoke cut granite worktops, the same as you'd see in a you know, for an indoor kitchen. And then obviously you've got, there's electrics going in there, plumbing, you know, wiring, all sorts of things. They are good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, they look amazing. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, and then other things, I guess, then thinking about as well.
Again, this is two different areas you're talking about here with the pictures. So this was a little home office someone had, so we had a little patio put in front of that. That was just a small urban garden again. And then you've got another Trex pergola finish here, which is a house in Finch Hampstead.
Okay, yeah. And so with pergolas then, what's their big sort of function and use? And because I seem to see more of that cropping up places like Instagram and things where I'm seeing people's projects, and yeah, what's the big sort of driver for those?
Well, I think more and more people are seeing more designs of things really, and it's things like just even sunshades and things like that you can hang from them. People can put a lot of sails from them where they have a few anchor points, and you can get bespoke sails made and sunshades that hang from them, whether they're triangles or whatever you want to do, but they look really nice then. You can hang lights from them or heaters. It means you're getting a more usable space all year round.
Yeah.
No different than if you were to go out and go to a restaurant or pub area and you stand outside in the colder months.
That's a heater, is it, in the middle there?
That is a heater they've got there in the front of that one, but you can get obviously ceiling mounted ones, so that those work really well as well. And that's generally what a pergola gives you, is a good base for all that sort of stuff, lighting going in.
Yeah.
But they're also good focal points. You know, they bring areas, they give areas a nice structure. So yeah.
What's the most sort of fun thing you've put into someone's garden then?
Well, there's things like outdoor gyms are quite good. Sunken trampolines and things like that. People do quite a lot of things with that, with obviously entertaining children and things, especially more and more at home now with not being able to go out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the kitchens are a good point. You can put lots of accessories on those, like I say. Wi-Fi attachments and speakers and things. But yeah, they're all good.
Entertaining spaces, good stuff. Okay, and then this was a good example of a kind of transformation you were telling me about the other day. So we'll talk to this one.
Oh, this was just a very small house in Wargrave. So you can see this is a before and after. So the picture on the left is it's an untidy garden. It's obviously not being used at all to its full potential. And when you're living in a small urban space, especially in a lockdown area, it's not particularly enticing or inviting to go outside, is it? So we cleared the whole thing out, even though the access was not very good. And the guy actually does diving that owns this particular garden. So he got us to build a bespoke building at the back where he could actually dry the areas. That's what the open spaces on the side of the building there. You can hang all the diving gear up and let it all air and dry. And then he's got a Trex decking to sit on, and then a usable space with a little bit of terrace in there to for the rest of the garden to be used.
I guess in things like that on the right as well, you can customize that. So again, I've got some friends I've seen sort of building one one developed that's got TV in it, like you say, the gym workout scenario as well. So if you want to just kind of get out and get to a separate space, it's probably it's a good way of using your garden.
I mean, we've obviously put all electric and lighting in there, so actually in that building there, so it's kind of like a little again, a usable space. It's an insulated room.
Sounds like you do projects of all sizes then, do you? Because you've got kind of quite bespoke sort of requirements, and then you've got like the big kitchen, outdoor kitchen, landscaping, and everything going.
Yeah, as a landscape building company, we tend to get involved from very, very small jobs. We can do anything from just a basic fence repair right up to really quite large designs where we're working with designers, obviously, and bringing those to fruition. So we've I suppose the biggest job we've really done is sort of 100K plus, and we'll do anything from, you know,
Yeah.
£1,000 down from that really. But it's quite varied what we can cover.
Yeah.
We did a really large project last year, which was 300 square meters of porcelain around a swimming pool over in Pinckney's Green, which took a few months. That was quite an involved thing with a big outdoor lighting installation as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do all sorts of size projects. Yeah, it's fine.
I think the lighting and the sound and everything, like you say, like, you know, for a true entertainment, like kind of outside and enjoying the space, is something that I wouldn't necessarily think about going into like a landscaping project. But as you're talking more, I'm thinking how you can really embrace that side of it. It's great. It's and you guys, do you cover all of that, or do you kind of work with partners for that? How does that work?
Yeah, we do. We've just literally done a project in Finchampstead again, which we worked really closely with. We have an electrician, obviously, we work with, but yeah, that was all basically the guy wanted it all set up so he could run it all off his phone. So all the lighting comes on from that and everything else. But yeah, we installed it all, and it all works from his phone essentially. So yeah, the technology now makes everything a lot easier.
Yeah, nice, great. Okay, cool. All right, and then I know one of the other tips is here in front of us. So yeah, go for it.
Again, this is just showing you the different materials. Again, we're coming back to Trex again, but this is all composite decking. This is the good things about this is it costs more to put in, but you don't do anything with it. Essentially, once it's in, you will be sweeping it and mopping it to keep it looking as good as it can be. And the longevity of it is it will stay like that for 20 years, really. So you can see the frame gets built very differently. Everything gets covered and has joist tape over it. There's joist hangers everywhere. We do everything with concrete posts. Nothing's sort of timber or can rot in the ground. Very different to what you get with bulk standard softwood decks and things that other companies are doing perhaps. But it's just high-end products with a high-end installation process to go along with it, really. But it makes the spaces just easy to use, and when you don't have all that hassle, it's a lot more enjoyable, I think.
Yeah.
You don't think about it when the weather's good and want to be dealing with those sorts of jobs. You want to be enjoying it.
That's it. Yeah, make the most of it, especially in the UK. So yeah, good. All right, nice one. Well, that was great, David. Thanks for giving us a lot more inspiration there for the outside. We'll take some questions in a moment. We've had a couple coming through. So what I'll do is just recap, because you've kindly offered everyone that's visiting the Inspired Design Home Show a 15% discount on the Trex composite decking that we were just talking about in a few instances there. So and that's valid purchase before the end of 2021. So basically, just to recap, if you go to the exhibitors area, go in the directory, you can find Reed's listing there and just get in touch, fill in this form on their profile, and that will kind of validate that for you. So we'll go on to some questions then. All of the contact information for Reed's Landscapes is within their profile, and they're available for online chat as well this weekend. So if you look for the live chat button, you can type away to your heart's content and ask anything on your mind. But I'll just stop sharing the screen, get David back on there. Good. Okay, so have a look at a couple of questions we've got here then. So one key one that came through early on, actually, as you were talking, which I think is really key in general, but how do you choose the right landscaper for your project? So have you got general advice that you put out there just for people thinking about it? Because I think it's something you can rush into without thinking it through. And I know some people that have had not great experiences. So what's your kind of how would you?
I think the main things to watch for there is just look at how established they are. I mean, if they've got, we've been going for 20 years, say, but they need to be established for a few years, really, and have some testimonials themselves. They should be able to provide you with jobs they've recently finished. So maybe even just phone one or two customers up and just make sure the experience was good for them, because we certainly let people speak to anyone we've worked for and that sort of stuff. So that works well. It's a good way of doing things. And if, generally speaking, I would say if they can start very quickly, perhaps don't go with them. Because if you're good at what you'll do, you're going to be booked up for a little bit. So I think a wait to have that person come to you, even if it's 6 weeks or a couple of months, is probably slightly reassuring. But sometimes people want to get things done quickly.
Yeah, that's a great point for people to bear in mind. Yeah, super. Okay, so we had another question then, and this was, do you have any tips for gardens with really tight access? So I don't know if they're thinking through kind of how extravagant you can be with considerations if you are tight on actually accessing it. And I guess, yeah, well,
Well, I mean, tight access jobs, we do them. They create their own challenges, to be honest with you. It just literally means that if you're not getting machinery in there or anything like that, that it is just going to be men working and everything gets done manually, to be honest. We've done jobs before where one of the worst ones I ever did for tight access was a small extension and bathroom extension going through a house, to be fair. And we had to do all that by hand, all the digging out, footings, everything. And that was all in buckets through the house with sheets and protection. And when we have to do those really, really tight access jobs, we put lots of protection up. So the floors are protected, we put sheets down. We even put rubbers over the door lining, so nothing can be chipped or anything like that. It really helps with the job. So it's just a lot more caretaking, to be honest, with those sorts of jobs.
Yeah. Okay. So great, thank you. And then what's been the impact of COVID on timescales? So is that I guess there's two elements. One is getting started, kind of how busy things are at the moment, and two is it become a longer process because of restrictions, or as you're outside, is that okay?
I think what we found with COVID is the demand has gone up. So that's I would say that's even more this last year from what it was. It was always high anyway, but it's been even more this year because of everyone's been at home and wanted to get on with things. But yeah, getting hold of things has been quite difficult. Manufacturers have found it quite hard to keep up with demand and get the shipping right. So we've had a few issues from getting hold of things, to be honest with you. So, but again, I think that's all about communication. It's about running a job properly. So as long as you let people know that there's a slight delay, then quite often these things are unforeseen, unfortunately, and they get dropped in your lap. I've had that happen a couple of times this year, but it's just about communication. People generally understand, so that's okay.
How you deal with it. Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, that's brilliant. Okay, well, look, thanks again, David. Really appreciate, like I say, you taking the time. I know you're busy, but for everyone that's watching, definitely check out the website and get in touch with David and the team. So thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and you're back tomorrow for another chat with us. So we'll look forward to seeing you again then.
Okay, Chris, thank you. Yeah, cheers for that.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks. Bye.